What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Watchtower. That's right, Thursday's DC talk. Should be a good one for sure. Hopefully you're all enjoying your week and you're ready, raring and ready for some DC talk. We're going to talk about, is DC up for sale? And there's some people who think, well, it is. And we're going to talk about a couple other things that have come up in the DC realm, and then we're gonna rank the Superman suits. I thought that'd be a little fun. I wanted to have a little fun this week, so I thought, what the hell? Let's rank the Superman suits. Why not, right? Let's get into it. Let's have a little fun this week. How's it going, everybody? We got some people in the chat already. We got Hope for Life and Xander Wild. How's it going? As well as some others who aren't talking in the chat, but I see you guys there watching. May not be saying anything, but I see you there. Make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, and share this around to get more people to come and watch the Watchtower. Remember, live every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sounds like the music's louder this week than it normally is. Let's turn that down a little bit. All right. What do we got here? We got Xander saying, we were talking before the show, we were talking about the score for Superman and what we think it could be. Xander, Hope for Life, and myself were in the chat talking. Xander says, I'm hoping for some Williams is honored. He did such an iconic score that it's honestly pretty irreplaceable. Manos time. Slav here, my man. What's going on, Manos? Johnny Dome Studios, Aaron Fisher is being even worse in his recent video. Well, I didn't watch his recent video, but I did see that he posted a video. I did see it. Trayvon Purnell, what's going on? Can't stay for long. I'm watching this fascinating 6-part documentary on Ted Turner. That sounds interesting. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoy that. Welcome, though. All right. Well, since you can't stay long, let's get into a few of the topics I want to talk about here. I don't know if you saw, if you are a member, if you're not, you should be a member, because I do talk about some of the stories now. On my way home from work, I will just throw my camera up in my car and I'll talk about some of the stories that we will talk more about. So if you want to hear my thoughts, more immediate thoughts, become a member, $2.99. And you'll see my more immediate thoughts with news stories that break, DC related or what have you. It could be non-DC related as well. But yeah, just become a member. Why not? Support the channel, $2.99 a month, and you'll get some member-only videos. All right, so the first topic, I saw this. All right. Now, I know you guys, a lot of you know me from finding me after I called out Aaron Fisher a number of months ago. But a lot of you may not know this, that I started calling out Sil Abdul as well as Mikey Sutton, who has passed away, but Mikey Sutton and Geekosity. I called them out many, many times before I ever even heard about Aaron Fisher. Sil Abdul and myself actually go back a ways. I was on his show a number of times. He actually was on my show a couple times years ago. Bridging the Geekdoms when I was doing that podcast, and he made it seem like he knew what he was talking about. He made it seem like he had insider knowledge and all this kind of stuff. So I was like really latching on to what he was saying all the time and really trying to like pick his brain. There was a time the Culture Nerd and we had a lot of discussions, and I actually like the guys over at the Culture Nerd. I still am pretty cool with a couple people. I don't know if they're still attached to the Culture Nerd, but I'm still pretty cool with people who are attached to the Culture Nerd. But at the time, Sil Abdul was attached to them in a very small way. I'm not going to say he was part of the Culture Nerd. He wasn't, but he was kind of friends with them. But over time, I started to realize some things were not all as they seemed to be. So as time went on, I started to realize, man, this guy's a problem. So eventually, I decided, like, I'm going to start calling out some of these people. And Sil was one of the guys. It really started with Mikey Sutton and Geekosity. I really started calling them out because of all their bullshit. But then Sil Abdul, because he was so close with Geekosity and everything that they were doing, he just kind of got pulled into it. But he just doesn't stop. He doesn't stop making himself look like an idiot. So this post came up the other day, that you're seeing right here. And first off, this post here is from Syllabdul Podcast, but he also has, his Twitter here, I guess. So he kind of reposted a post from Twitter or something like that on his threads, or I don't know. So basically, on one of his social medias, he goes, in a truly unprecedented move, Warner Brothers Discovery could possibly separate the DC brand as a separate company and take it public to determine its true value. So that is like an excerpt from an article right there. He then says, yes, this could be for a possible sale of the company. Now, if you look very closely, you can plainly see right here that that is him that posted this. But he then reposts this on another social site. I'm thinking it's probably Threads, maybe Instagram. I don't know. I don't really use Threads or Instagram too much. But he then questions potential DC for sale? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Like he's not just retweeting or reposting what he just said is a possibility. Ridiculous. So I did some quick investigating. I did some really, really quick investigating. And it was really easy to find. It wasn't hard to find. It was the Hollywood Reporter. The Hollywood Reporter posted an article called, and the title of it is "The Tycoon That May Decide the Fate of Warner Brothers Discovery in the Trump Era." And what this is it's an article that talks about how a man called John Malone. John Malone is kind of a businessman who goes in and he has the ability to help, guide companies, specifically Warner Brothers right now, in just deciding what they can do to get out of the hot water they're in. Because let's face it, Warner Brothers, they're struggling. AT&T mishandled Warner Brothers so badly that David Zaslav is coming in. He's done a pretty good job in getting through the danger they were in. They've made some successes with film, and they've done some things, but they're still having some trouble. They really are. So that's what this article was all about. What this John Malone is going to be able to do. Now, specifically, this DC part is a little bit further in this article, and in this article, I just lost it. Where's it at here? There we go. It's down here. It states, as for breakup possibilities, Robert Routh, analyst at FNB Securities. Okay, this isn't even somebody at the Hollywood Reporter. This isn't somebody at Warner Brothers Discovery. This isn't John Malone himself. This is a random analyst at a place called FNB Securities. Notes that Malone could push to seek to have them take DC Comics public as a separate entity via either a tracking stock or a regular IPO to highlight the true value of the Warner Brothers Discovery library, as that would be the easiest way to do that. So essentially they would, put it as its own company to get an evaluation of how much DC is worth, and then they could potentially sell it off if it's worth enough to sell it off. That's a possibility. Sure, they could do that. But here's the thing. There's nothing in here that states that it's going to happen. So while Syllabdul says, yes, this could be for a possible sale of the company, yes, that is absolutely what that would mean. There's nothing here stating that that's going to happen. There's nothing here stating that that is what John Malone is thinking. There's nothing here that's stating that's what Warner Brothers Discovery is thinking. And if we think about it logically, like step back a second and think about it logically, okay? Warner Brothers Discovery is looking for ways to make some quick money, quick cash. They got to get some quick cash here. That would take time to separate the entity, to sit back, to let it see what it's worth. That's going to take months, if not, a year or more to see what it's worth. That's too much time. Now, for something like selling off, CNN or TNT or TBS or some other subsidiaries that they have, which they have plenty of them, that on the other hand could be done relatively quickly. And some of that stuff, like CNN is worth like, I don't know, $6 billion or something like that. They can make a pretty penny pretty quick if they sell that stuff off. So that's a possibility. So that's one thing to look at. But then if you look at the bigger picture, the bigger picture, because I know we're DC here. We want to talk DC, not CNN and TBS and TNT. But let's look at the bigger picture with DC. Warner Brothers wants franchises. What do franchises do? They bring in revenue, consistent revenue. Successful franchises bring in consistent revenue. What are they doing right now? Well, they're relaunching their Harry Potter franchise, which was a huge, huge franchise for them in the early 2000s. And because it was so big, they thought, hey, what can we do to relaunch this and reinvigorate the fandom for us to get more money brought in here? Well, let's relaunch, let's redo this. So they're rebooting it. Now, granted, I think it's a dumb way to make it a television series, but they think it's going to be profitable. They think that's the way to do it. That's fine. That's what they're going to do. DC is kind of in the same boat. DC is like, look, let's see if we can make money off this. The comics are doing well, but the comic book industry isn't huge. That's not where you're making all your money from an IP or a franchise. So let's not think about that. Animation does what animation does. Animation is what it is. You're going to make little amounts of money. So the big money is going to come from your films or your live action content. That's where it's going to come from the IP. So they're not going to sit there and say, well, let's sell off DC before we give this a real honest try. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to give the DCU a good honest try before they even really dive in and consider this. Now, that's not to say they won't spin it off while they're trying the DCU out. They may do that. They may spin it off in the midst of this. They may put out Superman, Supergirl, and a few other projects, and in the midst of that, still spin off DC into its own entity. That's very well possible. But that doesn't mean they're going to sell it still. Now, let's look at the other side. If somebody buys DC, okay, let's look at this. People always say Universal, Netflix, or Disney, or something stupid like that. That's what they always say. What are they going to do? Now, let's say the DCU is successful and they sell it. They're not going to just end the DCU if it's successful. They're going to continue it. They're going to say, James Gunn, keep doing what you're doing. If it's not successful and they sell it, well, they're not going to get a lot of money for it, first of all, and they may not be able to sell it. Or if they do sell it, they're not going to say, well, let's go back to what wasn't successful 10 years ago. No, they're going to want to do their own thing. They're going to want to say, let's scratch everything. Let's stop everything, halt everything. Let's start fresh and new and move forward with our own thing. And that's what's going to happen, regardless of who buys it, regardless of whoever does anything. So again, are they going to sell? Anytime soon? Unlikely. Is it a possibility? I will not sit here and say it isn't possible, because anything's possible. But nothing, excuse me, nothing in what was said in this article is stating that it's imminent. Nothing that was stated anywhere is stating that it's coming anytime soon at all. So again, when you look at these people online, people like Sil Abdul, they're going to say stuff like this just to get people's panties up in a bunch, start screaming the sky is falling, and then people are going to go, see, we knew it. Warner Brothers is in so much trouble. They're going to sell DC. That's what they're doing. Oh, man, they're in so much trouble. They're in so much trouble. I've been saying, there goes James Gunn's job. He's screwed. Superman's canceled. Look at this. And that's what happens. And it's ridiculous. Just people need to calm down. Like, I wouldn't say people need to calm down. These people need to just shut the hell up is what needs to happen. They just need to go away. That's really what really needs to happen. But again, that's what's going on. That's how it is. I just wanted to get that all out there. I wanted you all to hear it from me, because that's the truth. That's logically looking at it. That's not sitting there looking at it as a slant. That's not looking at it from the side of you want everything to fail. That's stepping back and saying, look, this is what the article says. This is what's going on in the real world. Is it a possibility? Absolutely. Is it imminent? No. That's what's going on. So I just wanted you guys to hear it and see it. All right, let's see here. What do we got here? We got some people that joined. We got up 20 people watching right now. Thank you. What's going on, everyone? Let's see. We got don't know what's going on. I don't know if you guys hear like this like reverb in my microphone or not. I don't know. It's kind of annoying me. I don't know if it's just my headphones or what. It's kind of annoying me. Hunter Iggy joins. What's up? What's going on, Hunter Iggy? Xander Wild says DC being up for sale is like saying our lives are for sale. DC is a part of my life. Well, even if it does get sold, it could still be part of your life, Xander. Oh, man. Derpy Entertainment, what's up? Aaron is for sale, more like it. Xander says Aaron is going to be sold. Johnny Dome, too late. Aaron was bought by Snyder. Jay Burns, I can only watch so much of him. The negativity is way too much. Andre Oliveira, if Superman flops, it's a DOA. What's DOA? The DCU? Again, what are you considering a flop? Nobody can tell me what's considered a flop for Superman. Matthew Moreau, whatever happened to the absolute universe? What did happen to it? Xander Wild, Slav, please buy DC. Look, man, I don't have the money for that. Johnny Dome says maybe go do a GoFundMe for DC. Yeah, like maybe if we do a GoFundMe, we could all buy it and we'll all go in. Yes, Slav, buy DC. Make it great again, Hope for Life says. Yes, let's make DC great again. I still say we should make Star Wars great again hats. I don't know. I think we should do that. Jay Burns says, Slav, hope you're feeling better. I'm starting to feel better. I had to get some antibiotics, man. My ear started hurting. Man, it was crazy. Like, I get sick anymore. That's what happens. When you start getting old, guys, I don't know how old you guys are, but as you start getting older, it sucks getting sick. It really does. Johnny Dome, I think DC being a separate company is like Marvel. I think seeing the value to see how important the company will be. Yeah, I mean, again, you can also do that because it can also help evaluate your company as a whole as well. Because if you think about it, you separate DC and you see what it's worth, and then that could help Warner Brothers stock even go up. You can look at it that way. All right. Trayvon, I wonder if Mikey Sutton felt so strongly about the Snyderverse that WBDC moving on from it sent him to, I didn't feel good about saying that, Trayvon. I'm sorry. I didn't feel good about saying that. Hope for life. However, if Slav did buy DC, maybe we could help him make it work. Andre, if Superman loses money, it's dead on arrival. No, I get that. If it loses money, but again, like, what are you saying loses money? Because I don't believe if it just loses money, the DC is dead on arrival. Because I think there's other projects that are being made. So if Superman struggles at the box office, if it loses some money, yet Supergirl does well and Lanterns is loved and Peacemaker does well again, they can continue on. Absolutely. Because Warner Brothers and DC Studios is not looking at Superman as a $1 billion film. They're looking at it as an investment in the DC universe. They're looking at it as, look, we need to get people invested again. And if it's going to be critically and well received, and if fans like it and it builds the audience, then absolutely. See, I don't know. You don't know how much the movie cost to make. There's rumors out there that it cost $300 million. We don't know if that's accurate or not. So if, let's say if it was $300 million and then you're looking at another 150 minimum to $200 million on marketing, you're looking at almost $500 million to even consider breaking even at that point. So, if it makes $500 million, but then it has to pay all of the theater chains, it's not going to be profitable. Yet it's critically well received and fans and critics love it. But because DC was just struggling for so long that people didn't trust going to the theater, but then it does well on digital sales and people are watching it like crazy on Max, that could just say, like, Warner Brothers and DC could sit back and say, look, didn't do great in theaters, but look, people are watching it, people like it, people are watching Lanterns, people like Supergirl, more people went and saw Supergirl, that did well financially. You see, it's an investment. It's not going to be a dead on arrival thing like so many want to try and say it is. Xander, Slav would give justice if he bought DC because he knows what the hell he's talking about. He speaks the truth. He always speaks on his ground, and he genuinely gives a shit. Thank you. I do. Jay Burns, got a jet. Wife took off early and wants to watch the movies. Have an awesome night, everyone, and I'll catch the rest on the rewind. Thanks, Jay, for stopping by. Enjoy. Spend that family time. It's important. Trayvon, to all the Snyder cultists, and I can't say this loud enough, shut your sorry, you know what's up. Johnny Dome, it would be hard for Superman to lose money. He is recognizable, is enough to at least break even. Correct. Andre Oliveira, if Creature Commandos has a weekly release and fans and critics love it, people will start to be really interested in the DCU. See, I don't know. I'm kind of weird about the Creature Commandos thing because I don't think Creature Commandos is necessarily going to be that draw to the DCU, but it could be because I mean, like Harley Quinn when that came out on Max, like that was a big draw. Like people actually really were interested in that. But the thing that I don't think about that, like think it's going to be like that, is it's animation. That's my concern for it is because it's animation. I don't see the casuals jumping in. The comic fans, yeah, if it does well and the comic fans like it, yeah, that's a good push. But I don't see the casuals jumping into it. I'm pretty sure, Hope for Life says, I'm pretty sure, considering Warner Brothers Discovery is broke, that since Superman will have practical effects, it costs 120 millions to 100 at most. I'm thinking it's probably around 200, probably about 200. That's my guess. Maybe 250 at the most. That's just my guess. That's just a guess. All right, moving on. So the next thing I want to talk about, we did that already. Creature Commandos. James Gunn has confirmed that Creature Commandos will debut with 2 episodes on December 5th on Max. Now, that's really not, shocking. Pretty much all shows, streaming shows specifically, have been doing this, where they launch with 2 episodes on day 1. And it makes sense because usually the first episode of a show really doesn't grab your attention. Usually you got to get 2 or 3 episodes in before you really get grabbed and like you're really invested in a show. So I think this is a smart move for Creature Commandos. But again, like I just said, I don't think this is going to be a show where the casuals jump into it. I think this is going to be more geared towards comic fans that are your typical comic book movie fans, comic readers, that kind of thing, that are going to want to watch this. So is the 2 episode premiere going to be that big of a deal? I don't know, but I'm excited about it. Again, I keep saying I wasn't excited, even with my excitement for James Gunn in the DCU and Superman. I originally wasn't excited about Creature Commandos, but couple months ago, I got myself excited just doing my own research. And that's what I hope some people do, is they just do a little research, find out who Creature Commandos are, research a little bit about them, what they are, who they are, why they are, and hopefully they get themselves a little excited because it's interesting. They're an interesting group of people. So that's what I hope they do. With that, Peacemaker Season 2 will release in August 2025. That has been announced, essentially. Not really announced. Actually, I think James Gunn did confirm it now at this point. But that's kind of exciting because now we know that Superman comes out in July, and then in August, Peacemaker Season 2 comes out. I was kind of hoping that Peacemaker came out before Superman, but I get it. Creature Commandos, and then we got to wait until Superman comes out, which is fine. I was kind of, there'd be a little more stuff, something else in there before that. But hey, whatever. I'm cool with it. That's fine. Peacemaker comes out in August. And then who knows what comes out after that. I mean, it's cool. We're starting to get this information. We're getting information, more and more information. I keep telling everybody, like, it's fun. It's exciting. We're getting information about this stuff. And that's what's exciting. All right. So what do we got up here? What are you guys saying? Xander Wild says, Slav for DC president. Make DC great again. Crowd goes wild. Mano's time. The only fear I have is that every project will be different. What about if they do a crossover event? If the projects are too different, it may end up being a mess. Well, I always look at it like this, you know, Justice League dark characters, Constantine, Zatanna, Etrigan, and all of those kind of not otherworldly, but supernatural characters are very, very different than your characters like Superman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern. But in the comics, when they cross over with Batman and things like that, it works. It works fine. It's cool. In the animated movies, when they cross over, it works. It works fine. So I wouldn't be too worried about that when it comes to movies. But we don't know how much they'll cross over in the live action form, because remember, we got animation, we got live action that they're really going to be playing with. It's seeming like the video games might be like phased out of this whole thing, which I think is fine. But from really, it looks like animation and television are really going to be combined together more than anything. So that those types of crossovers may be more so in the animated form, and then live action we may see it occasionally, but I don't know. I think it'll be fine. I don't see a problem with it. Johnny Dome says, if you don't like the idea of creator, can you actually make an unbiased review? No reason it's not like a YouTuber. Cough coughs. Aaron always does. If you don't like the idea, or I don't know what you're trying to say there. If I don't like the idea, I mean, I will. I'm planning on, with all the DC stuff coming out. I think this is what you're trying to ask. If with all the DC stuff, whether it's Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, Superman, whatever it is, I'm going to give my review on everything DC related for you guys. And I'm not a big reviewer. I've never liked doing reviews for things because there's so many review channels out there. But because I've grown this little DC community here, I want to do it for you guys. I want to, keep you guys happy. I mean, give you guys what you want. So I was already planning on with the DCU stuff. I'm going to review it. I'm going to make sure that I'm reviewing it for you guys. With Creature Commandos, I haven't decided how I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to go week by week. Like, I don't know if I'm going to review it like after the episode, like the next day. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. But I am going to review Creature Commandos for sure. Same with, Superman when that comes out. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. And even if because I know that there was talks about doing some comic crossovers, if I'm not mistaken, at one point. And I'm going to try and get those as well and read them and review that stuff as well. So yeah, I want to do that. Xander says, honestly, Superman being the head of the DCU is like Iron Man of the MCU. Yeah, absolutely. Man of his time. Did you see Blake Lively's comment about Brandon Skellner? She even tagged James Gunn. I saw in 1923. Love this fan cast. Yeah, he even said that. I think he even said something like Batman was his favorite character or something like that in the comment. Hey, I mean, look, I've said it many times. I'm a fan of the idea of Joel Egerton. I like that idea, but I don't hate Brandon Skellner. A lot of people have brought him up. I like that fan cast. I think he'd do fine. I've watched 1923 as well. I can't wait for season 2 of 1923 if they ever get around to getting it made and releasing it. But yeah, I like him. So I'd be fine with that. I'm not against it. Johnny Dome says, I was saying, can you truly do an unbiased review when you hate a director or the concepts and stuff? Can I do unbiased? Yes, I can. Absolutely. I do it all the time. I absolutely do it all the time. First off, proof is my Rebel Moon reviews. I'm a Zack Snyder fan. As much as none of you probably believe this or not, I am a Zack Snyder fan. I like 90% of the movies that and projects that he's made. But his Rebel Moon things I thought were terrible. Absolutely thought were horrendous. I can be completely honest. If I like or don't like the director and stuff like that, I will take a look at the product at hand, what I'm watching and what I'm reviewing. Even when it came to Star Wars, The Acolyte, look, I knew what I was getting into with that show, but I still went into the first episode, in the second episode, and the third episode with an open mind, saying, look, I want to like this. It's Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I want to like this. I know what the writer did. I know what the creator was going for, but I hope to God that she isn't doing what we all know she's doing. And I went in there with an open mind and tried, but it fell flat. Again, I can look at these things unbiasedly. Some people will say, no, no, you can't. But, look, I do what I can to look at things with, as unbiased as possible. I'm going to do it as best I can. So, Hope for Life, I look forward to seeing all your DC reviews and, well, at every video. Hope for Life, how do you feel about Jake Gyllenhaal if he was to play Batman? Do you think he'd be too old? I think he's too old. Again, that was my original fan cast, was Jake Gyllenhaal, but I think he's too old. Johnny Dome was saying Aaron always mentions Gunn when he reviews projects that have nothing to do with Gunn. I think that is biased. Does he? I don't know. I don't really watch Aaron's videos. I've watched maybe 3 or 4 total of his videos. I don't know. Hope for Life, I know you're a Snyder fan, but you're an honest one and you're willing to call it out when it's a bad movie. I'm just glad you don't act like some of those other ones who says he's the greatest thing ever. Yeah, I know. All right, what else do I got here? Where are we at? What time is it? It's 9 o'clock. All right, man, it's been 30 minutes already. All right, DC schedule. So with the announcement of Peacemaker, this is our release schedule so far for the DCU. We got December 5th starts Creature Commandos, July 11th is Superman, August 2025 Peacemaker, June 26, 2026 is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. So, I mean, that's pretty much what we're looking at right now. I'm guessing Lanterns. If I were to guess, if I was a guessing man, not a betting man, if I was a guessing man, I would say Lanterns is probably going to fall in that early part of 2026, maybe. Because wasn't James Gunn saying that they're going to do like 2 projects a year, like 1 show, 1 movie? Isn't that what they're saying? So it'll be like Creature Commandos this year, then 2025 will be Superman and Peacemaker, and then 2026 Lanterns and Supergirl. Maybe a 3rd project, maybe. Could they possibly put another project, like another TV show in 2026 at the end? Maybe. I think that's probably the way to go, personally. But because I would hate to wait almost an entire year for Supergirl. Like, that's so long to wait. So long. I almost would prefer if there was nothing between Peacemaker and Supergirl, I'd almost prefer them to put Peacemaker out in like December. That way it wasn't so long of a wait between Peacemaker and Supergirl. That's just me. Xander says, I stopped watching Aaron Fisher when he started being a whiny ass. Jeez. Man of Steel Mangolias asks, any idea when Supergirl begins filming? January. January is the start of Supergirl as well as Lanterns. They both start filming in January. Supergirl will be filming over in the UK, and Lanterns, I believe, is filming in Atlanta, Georgia, I think. Atlanta, Georgia, I think is where they're filming. But Supergirl is filming in the UK. So when in January? All I know is early January. And Hope for Life says it. Yep, begins filming next year, I believe, in January. Yes, it is January. Johnny Dome, I think inappropriate jokes is fine if the project was made for it. Like Deadpool, all that to say, Peacemaker is good, even with more and more of these jokes. See, that's the thing. I'm a fan of Peacemaker. Again, that was another one of those projects, just like Creature Commandos, where I was like, I don't know. I don't really care. And after the first few episodes came out, I started hearing people rave about it. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I watched it. And I couldn't believe how funny it was, how good it was. And, I remember people freaking out about like the poop jokes about Superman and things like that. And I was like, do people understand that this is a character in this show, or these are characters in this show that are making jokes? Like, they're not to be taken serious. Like, when they are making these jokes about Superman having a poop fetish, that doesn't mean that Superman has a poop fetish. That's this character being an asshole, joking, saying, Superman has a poop fetish. Like, and that's the problem. People come up, they don't understand comedy. And they don't understand comedy, or they just want to bitch and complain because heaven forbid, God forbid, things aren't taken as seriously as they want it to be taken in a comedy. And that's the thing. That just aggravates me. I don't know. It's just people sometimes, just sometimes people. The Watcher. Gunn said eventually we will have 2 shows and films a year once things get rolling, and that's true. We will have the Batman Part 2 and Supergirl in 2027. Well, Supergirl is 2026, so I don't know. The Watcher, Green Lanterns, and another series for 2027 along Supergirl and the Batman 2. Hope for Life, The Watcher, good to see you. Oh, okay. Xander, did you see the bitchy Snyderverse fans going after Gunn and the 2 auditioning Superman actors who tore Cavill Superman? Well, funny you bring that up. So, James Gunn comments on Tom Brittany and David Cornsweet destroying Henry Cavill's suit when auditioning for Superman. Tom messed it up and Cornsweet came in. He was way too tall, so it just got torn to shreds. Yeah. And that's kind of what led me to wanting to do, let's rank the Superman suits. Now, I did a members only video where I really kind of dove into this whole topic. So you can, if you want to become a member, you can hear my full thoughts on this. But real quickly here, people are ridiculous. Let's just cut to the chase. People are ridiculous. There are how many suits that are made for each movie? So Henry Cavill had X number of suits for Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League. They have them on display, certain ones. So those ones will never get destroyed. But they have ones on hand that, yes, when an actor is auditioning, they want to put them in the suit to see what they look like. Sometimes they let the actor it helps them get into character as well. So yeah, they got ripped. It happens. It happens. It's ridiculous. But what's even more ridiculous is you have somebody like this who then goes and makes a video. James Gunn destroys Henry Cavill's Superman suit. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. My members only video almost says verbatim that title. It's almost the exact same title, but mine is making fun of it. It's a play on it because I make fun of these people for it, but still. It's just, if we were to watch this video, which I haven't watched the video and I don't plan on watching it. I don't know if any of you watched the video, watching this video damn well that he's sitting there freaking out saying, how dare James Gunn? How could he let this happen? How dare he? Those suits are a work of art and they should be in a museum hung up forever and ever and stuff like that. Like, come on, people. Come on. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, really? Come on. And that's exactly why I made the video I made, because of people like this. Because I know that people like this, and I know he's not the only one that's going to make a video like this. I know there's going to be other ones out there that make videos like this. I mean, come on. Come on. Man, it was time. James Gunn said that Peacemaker was supposed to be for Dave Bautista, but because of scheduling issues, I went to John Cena. Honestly, I prefer John Cena. I've really grown to like John Cena as an actor. I like Dave Bautista as an actor too, but I don't think Bautista would have done good in that role. And I do remember hearing about that. Okay, Watcher talked about that's 26, 20, 27 stuff. Johnny Dome says, Aaron said Gunn was making fun of destroying the Cavill suit. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. So in this, yes, Tom messed up and Cordswell came in and he was way too tall, so it just got torn to shreds. First off, it just got torn to shreds. James Gunn's gonna come in here and yeah, he's gonna be James Gunn. Like he's gonna be James Gunn and say, yeah, I mean, Cornsweet was tall. Like he's gonna pump up his actor. All right, so saying that he's too tall is basically like, hey, Cornsweet's a tall guy. He's a big guy. So it got torn to shreds. I mean, it is what it is. And I think he did it on purpose. I'm not going to lie. I think he said it that way to be funny. He was trying to be funny. Like, yeah, Cornsweet came in and tore it to shreds. Sure, absolutely. He was trying to be funny. But I don't think he was trying to be funny or malicious, because he knows damn well, James Gunn knows, and so does Aaron Fisher. He knows that there are probably after that suit that got torn to shreds, there's probably another 12 to 15 suits in the archives of Warner Brothers. So it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Hope for Life says, I have no intention of watching anything Aaron Fisher posts. All he does is spew hate, and it's just bleh. Silly user. How's it going, Silly? Are you new here? I've never seen you. Same old bullshit from him. Andre Oliveira. Josh from Den of Nerds talked about that as well. It made me cringe as fuck. Bro is desperate for the DCU to fail. Really? I didn't know Den of Nerds was looking for it to fail. I know he was a big Snyder fan, but I thought he was more open-minded about it. I don't really watch Den of Nerds, but I thought he was open-minded. Andre says, oh, you're talking to Watcher, entertaining dude, but with a lot of ass takes. Talking about Josh from Den of Nerds. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Let's rank some Superman suits here. Why not? Let's do this here. All right, we got a little time. Now, I found this over on the tier maker. I added a couple on here. So, obviously, there's a whole bunch on here as well. There might be some missing, so I apologize. But I'm just going to pick them at random. You guys feel free to jump in the comments and yell at me if I'm wrong. Tell me where you think I should put things, and we'll go from there. Silly user says, I enjoy your content, dude. Love the positivity. Main reason I like your content, but I ain't a fan of your Star Wars content. I get it, man. I get it. You look, that's fine. I know my Star Wars takes aren't for everyone. I know some people for some reason, love what's going on with Star Wars. I don't get it, but that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. Silly user says, I'm the guy in the comment section from the Gina video. Okay, that's cool. Hey, man, look, some people like what's going on with Star Wars. Some people don't. I get it. It's okay. It's okay. Watcher says, I already think Gunsuit is S tier. All right, so we'll start off with, I'm going to start with the Brandon Routh return suit. All right. Actually, hold on a second. Let me do something here. I got to do something because I'm going to do this. I need a little refresher for myself. All right. So the Brandon Routh return suit. I actually didn't hate. I actually really like Superman Returns. I actually really liked it. The suit, I always thought that it was the emblem was too small, and it was too almost rubbery looking for me. But when it came out, I really enjoyed what I watched and what I saw, but it was supposed to be a continuation of Christopher Reeve, and I was like, well, that doesn't really look like that suit, but all in all, sitting here in 2024, I'd probably put it C tier. That's probably what I would do. George Reeves, is he in here? I thought he was in here. Isn't this George Reeves right here? No, maybe it's not. I thought that was George Reeves right there. Maybe it's not. Again, remember, I pulled this list up from tier maker, so if not everything's here, it's not all my fault. I tried to get everything on there. Silly user says, personally, Superman Returns is a B for me. That's not a bad. I mean, look, hey, cool. Andre Oliveira says the red cape is too dark. Yeah, I think that's another thing I don't like about it. I think the cape is a little too dark. The red is too dark on it. I don't know. But I'm going to stick with Brandon Routh here, and I'm going to go with his. Where's it at here? I thought it was here. Isn't his dark emblem one? I thought I put that on here. Oh, here it is. This one here, his Kingdom Come suit. This I thought was great when they did the Kingdom Come emblem, and they did the Crisis on Infinite Earths with the CW Arrowverse. Like, I really, really like this suit. I do. I love this suit. And I mean, I sat there and for the longest time, I was like, dude, this is A tier. I love this suit. It is phenomenal. It is one of the best Superman suits out there. So yeah, Xander Wild corrected me. That is not George Reeves. That is Kirk Allen. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that is not George Reeves. Man, some people, I tell you. Let's see. Sticking with Brandon Routh, I'm going to go this one also because it really just changes the emblem to the hopeful yellow. I'm going to go A tier. That's the thing. That suit, everything about it, I really like. I like the design of it. I like the S. I love the Kingdom Come S, but the fit, it's almost like it's it is the classic colors, the classic suit. I like the fit. I like the shorts on it. Everything about it is great. So I'm gonna go A tier with it. Let's see. All right, look, Smallville was a show. I enjoyed Smallville. I always hated the no, no suit, no flight thing and stuff like that. This was probably the best look for Tom Welling. I'll probably go C tier with this. Again, I sat there and I was like looking at it like, man, I know it was the dark, the black suit idea of leather trench coats, all that kind of stuff. I still wish they would have given him a suit, but that was probably the best looking suit that they had for Smallville. The red leather coat with the blue undershirt, I thought was terrible. I did. I thought it was terrible. I would go D. I would go D with it for sure. Watcher says Ralph Arrowverse is A tier indeed. Yeah, it's absolutely. Watcher says when Ralph flies, I do think it's a bird because his suit's too dark. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Superman. Everybody keeps saying Christopher Reeve must be S tier. Well, let's see. Let's see what I put him as. I actually have my list right here, so we'll see where I put him as. Now, I do have a role. I have a role with my suits. I only can have two. I only gave myself two super. I guess I should have went over the roles for it. So for my S tier, I only gave my allowance for two S tier suits. And then after that, there could be as many A, B, C, D tier. But I only allow myself two S tier because I like at one point I was looking and I was like, man, I could probably put 3, 4. I looked at like 4 S tier. I was like, that doesn't really work. Like that's too many. And I was like, but I can't just have one. So I allowed myself to have 2 S tier. So I will have 2 S tier, but we'll see what they are. All right. I'm going to go more CW here. This is Tyler Hoechlin. Is that how you say his last name? Hoechlin. This is his black suit. This was part of another event on CW. I thought this was terrible. I hated this suit. It was just a copy of this suit right here. Both of them are D tier. They are horrendous suits. I'm sorry. Honestly, when I get into this Superman from Superman and Lois, and when he was on Supergirl for a little bit, and then in the Arrowverse and such, he doesn't have many good suits. That's another suit that isn't on here. I don't think his current suit in the final season is on here. It's an okay suit. It's better than what we've seen, but I have so many issues with the suits that they've made. Even his first suit here, or not his first suit, but this suit here, I wouldn't say he's all that great. C tier, maybe. The problem I have with it is the emblem on it looks like it was ironed on to his chest. It doesn't look like it matches everything. Like it doesn't look like it's a shield. It looks like it's an iron on. Like they went to Walmart and they're like, "Hey, let's buy this and iron on, onto it here." It just doesn't look well. This suit here is not bad. I'm going to give it a B tier. It's not bad only because I think it's the classic, the first Superman suit. I think they did a good job with it. And it was like, okay, I give them credit for that. They did a good job with it. Like, okay, I like that idea. I get that. But then you have this one. And again, I just hate the suit. It's the iron on, like that emblem. Like I'm telling you guys, look at these suits up closer. The emblem, the logo, the crest just looks like an iron on. It looks so bad. I've never liked it. I've always hated it. Tyler Hoechlin, he's been great as Superman. I'll give him all the credit in the world, but his suits, I've never been impressed with his suits at all. His current suit in the final season has not been bad. It's actually the best one. The shield looks good. It's separate from the suit. It doesn't look like an iron-on finally. It actually reminds me a little bit more of the Superman Returns shield emblem. It's like a little more raised and protruding from the chest. So that I like that a little bit more. But still, the suit isn't perfect, but it's probably the best suit out of all of his suits from his run. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to go with it. And I'm going to go with the black and silver suit for Henry Cavill. And, a lot of people love this suit. And yeah, it's all right. But I go C tier with it. It's okay. But my whole thing with it is there's no reason for it. Zero reason for him to have that suit in the movie or going forward. There's no explanation for it. There's no reason for it. It was cool to see, but why? Like for me, I wanted to have a reason. Like explain it to me. Like when he gets on this ship, when he comes back to life, like he has this little conversation with Jor-El. Why doesn't Jor-El say like, hey, there's a special suit here that'll help you, bring in the sun's rays better or something like that? Like they could have done that. They could have added that to the film. I mean, it was a 45-hour long movie to begin with. Why couldn't they add just a little 20-second scene like that would give you a reason for that suit? And I think it would have made it even that much better and a little more special to understand why he's wearing the suit. Again, it doesn't ruin the movie for me, but I just think it's pointless to have it when his suit that he had in BVS, his BVS suit, that's not it. There you go. His BVS suit is S tier. It is one of the S tier suits. That suit is phenomenal. I hold true. Like, I know a lot of people don't like the Man of Steel suit. I'm not a big fan of the Man of Steel suit, but the BVS suit, man, it is fantastic. Like, I can't speak highly enough about it. It is a fantastic suit. And to go from that suit to having the black suit for no reason, to me was just like, really? That's what you're going to do there? That's what you're going to do there? Man. All you guys just kind of stop talking. You just listening to me talk? All right. You all just shut up. Silly user says, I love the Fleischer suit. Yeah, I mean, it's more of a classic for sure. B tier for sure. Let's see. What else we got? Hope for Life says, Tom is D tier just because he doesn't have a Superman suit. We're not talking about Tom himself, right? Let's see. Johnny Dome says, not fair on the gun Superman, so don't make it for sure. I don't know what that's about. The Watcher, I feel like if do a tier list for Batman suits, it's going to be a bloodbath of different opinions. Slash free talk. Yeah, probably. The Watcher said, Zach said the black suit was to help gather more sunlight to heal after being resurrected because black attracts sunlight, which is comic accurate. So I have to give Zach his flowers there. But just because Zach said it is one thing. Remember, you have to take it from being an audience member. Zach saying it in a podcast, 3 weeks before the movie or 3 weeks after the movie or a year after the movie or during a convention or whatever is one thing. Sure, he knows the material there. But the audience who's sitting there watching the movie, why is he wearing a black suit? Like, what's the point? Because to an audience, and this is factual, this is true. Black, dark colors usually denote evil, bad, wrong, like not good. So Superman showing up in black, would showcase to a viewer, to an audience who isn't knowledgeable in the comic, who doesn't know Superman, would think, why is Superman wearing black? Is he bad now? Is he evil now? Like that's the kind of thought process that could go through somebody's head. So that is my part of my issue with it. I understand the comic. You understand the comic. Zach obviously understands the comic, but let's be real here. Not everybody does. All right. Like I said, I do have two S tier. I did allow myself two S tier, so don't forget that. The Watcher says, I agree, he didn't convey it well. Let's see. Man of Steel Mangoli's Zack Snyder's suit had the Kryptonian symbols. That was cool. That is another cool aspect of Zack Snyder's suits for sure. So I talked about Man of Steel. For me, look, I'm not a big fan of the Man of Steel suit. I will give it a B tier because, like he said, the symbols, Kryptonian symbols, was cool. I liked the way it fit on him. It was a lot more form fitting. Really gave him that look of a god, of like, he was otherworldly. I did like that about it. It did take it in a new direction from that typical Superman look. I liked that idea. I liked that aesthetic and different look from Man of Steel. But again, Batman vs Superman, I think, perfected it for sure. And then when it came to Justice League, whether it's 2017's Justice League, we should make sure we point out here. What did I put that at? I got to double check here. It wasn't great, but I didn't hate it. I mean, it was good, but I'd probably put it in a B tier. I liked the brighter colors for sure. I liked it, and I liked how it shimmered a bit more and looked a lot more like he was the Man of Steel. And I like that aspect. And they kind of did that in Man of Steel, but it was a lot more prevalent in Justice League. So I like that. What else do we got? Manos time. I don't think it's fair that David is the only one from behind the scene pick. I wish we had an image from a movie to illustrate it better. Oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I wish we had something too. Andre says, when people have to choose between being cool and being true to the character, they prefer the cool. Hope for Life. We got to do a tier list of DC characters. Now that would be a real bloodbath. I wonder who would win if they all had to fight each other over though. I don't know. Let's see. Again, remember, we're not talking about who's truest to the character either. So Xander says Christopher Reeve Superman was the most truest to the Superman character. So we're not talking about truest to the character. Dean Cain from the Adventures of Lois and Clark 90s television show. He was his suit was good. I mean, it was a classic suit. I mean, I can't, it was a TV suit, a 90s TV suit, but it was a classic suit. I give it B tier. I mean, you can't fault it for being a TV production. And it looked very similar to that of Christopher Reeve's suit. And it looked good for TV. It looked fine. Again, it was the classic suit. The classic suit. And I thought this was George Reeves when I pulled this up. And I was wrong. So I'm sorry. But this is a classic black and white version of the suit. And again, it's going to be A tier because you take a look at what they were doing back in the day with Superman. And I think it's great that they were able to get such an iconic looking suit to look as good as it did in black and white. And I think that's why I have to put it at A tier. I just have to. I think it looks good. It's great. And I enjoy looking at it in that way, and that's how I look at it. And that's where I would put George Reeves as well. I would put him in A tier just because of the time period of those suits, those old suits of that time period. I just think it's amazing that they were able to accomplish what they did then, for sure. Johnny Dome says, was saying Gun Superman is on the list. I'm saying don't make his tier 100% not fair. Hey, I mean, that's fine. It could change. Again, don't think, I mean, this isn't final. Don't sit here and think it's final. I mean, we're down to 2 here. We're down to 2. We're at Christopher Reeve and we're down to David Cornsweet. And I know David Cornsweet's suit isn't like, this is a behind the scenes picture, but this is just based off of what we've seen. This is just based off what we've seen behind the scenes. And I like his suit. I really, really like his suit. And I think it's excuse me, the coloring's great. Look, you already see up in the A tier, I love the emblem. I love the Kingdom Come logo. I'm a big fan of it. And I think he's done a great job. I do want to see it in action. I want to see the history and the reason behind the suit, why he's wearing it. I want to see it in the world that he's built. Absolutely. I want to see that because that will play a role in my understanding and full, appreciation for the suit. But what we see now, I felt if I didn't add it, we would have people sitting here saying, "Why didn't you add it?" But if I do add it, then I know that there's going to be people, "Well, you can't add it because it's not, we haven't seen it in the movie yet." But from what we've seen, and it could change when the movie comes out, but from what we've seen so far, all right, what we've seen, and this is why I kind of wish that James Gunn would have given us like a really good action pose for the first reveal, as opposed to that like partially AI generated image. Yes, I still believe it was AI generated. I do. But for me, my biggest issue, and this goes with both of them because both of these, Christopher Reeves and Corn Sweat suit, both have the S logo on the cape. And I hate that. I hate it. I think it looks like a Halloween costume. I do. I think it looks like a Halloween costume. But I still love one of these suits enough to be S tier. I do. Because of just how iconic it is, you know? And you're right. Christopher Reeve suit, absolutely. Christopher Reeve, S tier suit. It is a fantastic suit. It is. It's great. And for David Cornsweat, at this point in time, I'm going A tier. I really, really like his suit. I really, really, really like his suit. I think it's a great suit. Again, I love the logo. I love the Kingdom Come logo. I love what they've done with it. I like the shade of yellow that they used on this suit as well, because it's not that bright yellow like they've used so many times with Superman. It's like more of an orangish yellow. So I really like that. The blue is a perfect blue. I like the red. I think everything's really good and toned really well with this suit. Again, I want to see it in action. I want to see the history. I want to see it in this world to get a full appreciation of it. It could move up to S tier. And like I said, I originally had 4 S tier. I didn't even have David Cornsweat in the S tier originally. My 4 that were in the S tier were the 2 that you're seeing there, and then the 2 Brandon Routh ones, the Kingdom Come ones, because I love those suits. I love those suits so much. But that's what I originally had, but I said I had to pull them back. But yeah, I love these suits. This is how I would rank the suits currently. Again, we could see that, heck, maybe Cornsweat gets a new suit by the end of the movie. Maybe he gets another suit come the next movie. Who knows? And maybe this all changes. But that's my rankings, my tier for the Superman suits. But I'd love to know what you guys think and what you guys would rank them. You can find this list over on Tier Maker, so go make your own list. Throw it in the comments and say, "Hey, go check out my list." You can save it and throw it on Twitter, on X, and hashtag Watchtower. Tag me on Twitter, whatever you want to do, and show it to me. I'd love to see him. Xander goes, "Fuck yes, Chris Reeve for the win." Man of Steel Mangolius, 239 days to go. Andre says, "I love the S on the cape." I don't know. I've always felt like it looks like a Halloween costume. Now, Andre says, Cornsweat is A tier. Johnny Dome says, David is classic but modern, fits the classic style of Metropolis. The citizens wear 60s style stuff. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Oh, man. What else do we got? Anything? I don't know. This was a fun episode. Like I said, I wanted to have a little fun this week. I wanted to have a little fun, do something different. That's why I wanted to do the tier list. I thought it'd be a little fun, a little different. Something different. Hope for Life says, "You made the right choice with the Christopher, the OG." Yes. Senware92. I don't know who you are. Welcome. I've never seen you before. If it's your first time commenting and being here, welcome. Thank you for joining. He says, "Aaron was saying in his new video that Batman 2 won't be good. Your thoughts?" Well, quickly, I'll say, look, I'm not a big fan of the Matt Reeves Batman movies, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's not going to be good. It could be good. I'm hoping it's good. I'm gonna watch it because I'm hoping it's good. But I wasn't a big fan of the first one. He's saying it's not gonna be good. I saw his post on X. He's saying it's not good because of the way that Matt Reeves was talking about how uh, Batman Bruce Wayne blames himself for the events of the first Batman movie. And I saw him say, "Oh, great! It's gonna be more, or it's gonna be a movie all about emo Batman." Like, come on, man. Like, let's see how it plays out. It just seems like he's always so negative about everything. Like, how do you live your life being negative all the time? Like, be a little positive, be a little happy sometimes. Just be happy. Be a little happy, Aaron. A little happy. Silly user. It's a good suit, but right now it's B for me. I'm waiting for a trailer to fully come to a destination. Heck yeah, I may know what I like about the suit come December. That's right. Because we're getting a teaser in December. Some people think it might be sooner. I'm sticking to December. Xander Wild, because Aaron Fisher sucks. Who cares? Andre Oliveira, what are your S tier Batman suits? Well, maybe we'll just have to do a tier list for that someday, won't we? Won't we? Can't give that away now. That takes away from content I can do in the future. Come on now. Johnny Dome says, you can say the suit looks Halloween in general. I guess you could. I guess you could say that about all the suits. I don't know. It's just something about the S on the back. Like, it just looks generic. It just looks so weird to me. I don't know. I don't know why. It just always has. Hope for life. Aaron has his own opinions, but I think Batman 2 will be good. Look, I hope it is. Like I said, I haven't been a fan. Like, I didn't like the first one. Here's the thing. I'm such a big Batman fan. I'm a huge Batman fan that I want the Batman 2 to be good because I want to enjoy it. That's the thing. I want to enjoy it. And that's the difference between me and somebody like Aaron Fisher, who wants these things to fail. Like, all he does is talk so negatively about this stuff and just wants it to fail. He says, oh, I hope it's good, but then talk like you want it to be good. Don't talk like you want it to fail all the time. Talk like you want it to be good. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that it's all good. I hope Batman 2 does good. I hope that I enjoy it. Johnny Dome says, without the S, I think it's too blank, but that is just me. Andre says, the more it looks it was made by Ma Kent, the better for me. Huh? It could be. Classic story, which, I mean, that could be the way that James Gunn is going. Haven't gotten a chance to watch The Penguin. Man, it was time. He asked me, what are my thoughts on The Penguin? Haven't gotten a chance to watch The Penguin yet. I want to. I do. That's actually something I want to watch. I've heard so many good things about it. I want to watch it. I might have a chance to start watching it this weekend. Depends on how early I wake up this weekend. If I can wake up before the kids, I might be able to get 1 or 2 episodes in each day. We'll see how early I can wake up this weekend. All right. Before I get out of here, I gotta shout out my members. Member shout outs, just a guy on YouTube, Goober316 and Lawrence Fury, each one 1 month members. Thank you all so much for being members. You get member only videos, and we will be doing a member only stream coming up in about a week or so. I asked the question, if you are a member, what would you want to do? Would you want to play some video games, like play Halo or something like that? There's some different ideas. Like, I'm trying to think of something cool to do with our member only live stream. So put that out there. I want to welcome Claudio Vega Cueto 952. He's a new member just the other day, so welcome. But you get exclusive videos. I'm doing more of those, and I have another idea for what I'm going to do for member videos. So you're going to start seeing more member videos popping up. So if you're not a member, become a member. Support the channel. $2.99 a month. Be a great help. Be great. I'd be forever grateful for that. All right. Andre Oliveira, absolutely spectacular show. Holy shit, that's my review for The Penguin. Johnny Dome says, "Hear me out. What if Pa Kent and James Gunn Superman doesn't die?" Oh man, people are gonna freak out because of how. Oh man, I don't even want to think about how people are gonna freak out about that. Silly user, glad to check out the live. Keep up the great content, man. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for watching. All right, everybody. I think I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm kind of tired. I gotta get over being this sickness for sure. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Andre says, Johnny Dome Studios, I want Soup's parents to have Batman for supper in the Kent Farm. I know, very specific. That'd be weird. All right, guys. Remember, next Monday, this coming Monday. Wow, what's going on with my camera? Anyways, next Monday, my normal live show, not the Watchtower normal live show. So make sure you come by for that. And then next Thursday, another Watchtower DC talk. Don't miss it. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for subscribing, all of that stuff. It's great. Love seeing you guys here. With all that said, catch you all later.